So we've got to have the systems. So on our business generator systems, I'm going to suggest some basics. You hear me harping very hard on expired listings. It's because then they asked Jesse James, not this Jesse James, but when they asked the real Jesse James, or well, he is the real Jesse James. When they asked Jesse James, the outlaw, you're not, right? Okay. When they asked the outlaw, Jesse James, why do you rob banks? He looked at them with a peculiar look in his face and said, because that's where they keep the money. Right? Well, in expired listings, there's money there. So some of you are more experienced than others. So I'm going to ask a question. When we're in a market like we're in now, dropping inventory, right? Prices are increasing. Do sellers tend to overprice their listings?
Always.
They do. What fuels an incredible expired market? Overpriced, and you say the last word? Listings, right? So it makes sense. We need to, right now while this is happening, and it'll go on for a while, we need to get good at it. And so next week I'm going to teach you some of the real fine points of expires, but I'll give you the rough of it. You've got to contact them. You want to be the first one if you can be. You'll want to be the first. If your plan is to call expires at 8 a.m., yeah, probably you're not going to get the best results. I always call them early. Somebody said one time, they said, well, you know that FCC requires that you don't make phone calls. So I go, I don't really care. I'm not a radio broadcaster or anything. All I'm doing is calling people who put their number in the MLS to be called. I'm just calling them saying, hey, you want to sell? So I guess the most important thing I could teach you about expires, and we'll go into in depth next week, is you have to outwork your competition. You have to never worry about over-contacting that expirer. You have to be contacting them every couple of days. You need to be knocking on their door if they're within your radius. You need to be doing all these things. You need to outwork the other person. And once upon a time when I was told to do this, and I was saying, Mike, I don't want to irritate them, and he made me get a yellow pad. He said, put a yellow pad next to your phone, and every time you lose a listing, and they say, because you over-contacted me, write their name down. And then, of course, we spoke next week. He says, anybody on that list yet? And I go, no. He goes, throw it away. You're never going to have anyone on the list. So we need to do that. The philosophy of an expired listing is this. One of two things happen. They're either not motivated to sell, or they're a victim. They're a victim of a realtor who either lied to them about price just to get a listing, or they're a victim of an inexperienced realtor that didn't have the ability to figure out what their home was worth, or they're a victim of a realtor who didn't have the sales skills to convince them that this was the right thing to do. Does anybody, we realize that in this market we are all going to take overpriced listings, but it's not okay to tell your seller that you think it's going to sell for that. I can relate it to many, many things, but if you got a 1999 Chevy Malibu, it's worth $3,000. And if somebody else comes along and says, I can sell that Chevy Malibu for $19,000, what do you think the chances are we're going to do it? Ain't going to happen, right? But they might get the sales contract for a while, and then when the listing expires, it becomes much easier for you to come in and explain to them. When you take the overpriced listing up front, it's going to be extremely important that you tell them it is. You say, folks, I work for you. I'll do whatever you ask me to do, and I'll put the full push of my marketing behind this listing. But I just want you to know that it's probably not going to sell for this. And then once you've had that honest conversation with them, as a rule, they'll relist with you, and you'll be able to get price reductions. So the last thing on this is I wrote something here, and I think it may look kind of strange to a lot of people, but this is the honest-to-God work cycle in real estate. This is what it is. It's work with no results, work with no results, work with no results, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then you get results. So many people I see proved within their own mind, without a shadow of a doubt, that something doesn't work. They just haven't tried it long enough. How many of you wish that we lived in an environment where you could knock on 3 doors, and every 3.5 doors will say, you get a signed listing candidate? How many of you would like that? Huh? Would you? Think it'd be great? Well, then the listings would be worth about $100. If it wasn't difficult, a listing would be worth $100. Because if I could knock on 3 doors, I'm out there, I'm saying, hey, I'll do it for $50. Swipe your credit card. Because 3 doors now, I'm making another $50, right? And all I want to make is $1 million a year. I do a quick little math. I go, hey, will you knock on doors with me? And we're out there all of a sudden. But everybody would be there. So I always thought, I hope it gets more difficult. I hope it gets hotter. I used to love it. 105 degrees, I always wore a vested suit in those days and a necktie. And 105 degrees out there, that the first couple hours, I think the suit kind of insulated me from the heat. And then after a while, one day, I told the story to some of you, but one day I'm walking along, and it smelled like a dog was following me or something. It was my own perspiration coming through that wool suit. But I thought, you know what? Nobody else is going to do this. Nobody else is going to do this. I'll own that neighborhood soon. So the work, no results is important, because I watch the cycle. I see it in realtors all the time. We work, we stop. And then, because we've proven to ourselves it doesn't work. And then what happens is all of a sudden some results come from something you did a month or so ago. And you go, oh, let me go back. Start doing that again. Well, we lost all the momentum. So with expired listings and some of the things that we're going to talk about for income generating, it's just important that you, in your schedule, you have it laid out in a way that you can do it and enjoy it. So it's not laborsome. Oh, I got to go in and call expires. Somebody's going to yell at me. I know they're going to yell at me. Think I've ever been yelled at by an expired listing? No, I have. I was not. Mike said, "What's the worst thing an expired listing can do to you?" And I said, "Well, yell at you." And he goes, "No, they could get in their car, drive down to the office, and shoot you." But he says, "What's the probability?" Right? Pray though. Once upon a time, I did have somebody come down there, or threaten to come down there with a ball bat and was going to get me. But you never find me at the office. I was right in his neighborhood. He should have come out, hit me with a ball bat there. But so, anyways, real important as we go through this. If it doesn't seem to be working, look at it, ask me, or ask yourself, do you think that I would teach you something that doesn't work? Why would I do that? What would I have to gain by that? And we already established that we have to talk to people, and a highly motivated person is the best one to talk to, right? If we know how many homes are going to go on the market in Rancho Cucamonga, we can find those statistics real easy, right? We can just go back and we can take the last 3 months, how many homes were listed, we can divide it by 3, and we can estimate how many homes are going to come on the market. But it's pretty hard to identify which ones it's going to be. Wouldn't it be nice if they had like a blue light in the front of their house? You just drive around and go, oh, there's one. Hey, obviously you have the blue porch light, so obviously you're going to be listing your home soon. I'd like to apply for the job. Well, the blue light is the expired listing. Not only do we know that they're thinking about selling, they've actually made the step and hired a realtor that couldn't do it, which actually makes you look better. So anyways, if we apply some of these principles, there's a subject that I love very much, and it's called time blocking. And if you do a little time blocking, you could time block within a day, time block within a week, and you just do this during this time. So you call expires, you go out in the neighborhood, whatever the income generating activities you're going to do are, excuse me, as you do them regularly, they become a habit. Did anybody ever notice that a habit becomes extremely easy and very difficult to break? How'd you like to have the habit of listing 8 houses a month? Nice habit, huh? Yeah, kind of the rule I always thought. If you can take 8 listings a month, you're going to pretty much be all right.